Hello, my wonderful students, and welcome to this lecture on removing directories and files from the command line. Now, before we get started, I want to issue a strong warning. These commands that we are about to learn will permanently delete directories and files, so be very careful when using them. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and open up your terminal and get into your desktop directory. And once here, let's together go ahead and make a file to be removed. So we will use the touch command and name this file test.py. Alright, now that we have the test.py file made, let's go ahead and remove this file. But before we do, I want to make a very important point. Go ahead and take this test.py file and drag it into your trash can. The point here is that unlike with the graphical user interface, where you can drag and drop a file into your trash can and then go ahead after being prompted to delete it, click yes, I am certain that I want to delete it. When you delete anything from the command line, you do it in one line of code and it does not go to the trash can. It rather is permanently deleted in the first step. So that being said, let's go ahead and drag and drop this test.py file back into the desktop directory. And now we will go ahead and delete it using the rm command. rm test.py, and go ahead and hit enter. And as you can see, this is not in our trash can. It is permanently deleted. So be very careful when using these commands. The next command I want to learn is how to remove a directory. So let's first go ahead and make a directory. We will call this directory test. So mkdir test. We can see now that our test directory has been created, so let's go ahead and remove this directory, rmdir test. And as a quick caveat, this command only works when your directory is empty, meaning there are no files or folders inside of it. So we'll go ahead and hit enter. Now let's go ahead and again make a directory and learn how to delete it when there are subdirectories or files inside of it. So let's go ahead and type in mkdir test, and then let's get into this directory by doing cd test and making a file called test.py inside of there. And you can see here that we have our test.py file inside of our test directory. Now, from a previous lecture, you may recall that when we make directories and files, we must do so inside of our current working directory. So in order to delete directories and files, we also need to be inside of our current working directory. So if we were to use the rm-r command here, it would not work because we are in our test directory. Since our test directory is inside of our desktop directory, we will need to be in our desktop directory to delete this test file. And I will show you this by hitting enter. So let's go ahead and go up one directory using our cd ... command. And now that we are in our desktop directory, which I can prove by using pwd, as well as showing you this icon up here, let's go ahead and use the rm-r command test to delete this file, or pardon me, delete this folder. So there we go, our test directory with a test.py file inside of it is now deleted. So just as a quick recap, the rm command removes a file, the rmdir command removes an empty directory, and the rm-r command removes a directory with a file inside of it. I don't think I actually mentioned this throughout the lecture, but the -r stands for recursive, which means to recursively remove a file. Without going into this that much, since this is a beginner's course, just know that if you have a directory with a file or subdirectory inside of it, just use this command. Alright, so that's all I have for this lecture. Thank you all so much for listening. You should now have a strong command on how to delete files and directories from the command line. And again, to warn you, be very careful with this command. You can actually cause major damage to your computer. So that's all I have. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you all at the next one. Until then, happy learning.